the knob. Oh,
he's pressed his knob. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all the other creatures in between, welcome to Disability Horizons TV, where Zec the Tech has pressed his knob. And now, without further ado, he's going to press another.
The outrage at what you said. How dare you attack me in such a way?
That was brilliant. That was brilliant. And actually, funnily enough, we're talking about outrage and we're talking about things around outrage, but that is something actually that people get outraged about, using the term ladies and gentlemen, which is why I said and everybody else in between. Yes. And I think that, it is important to moderate your language. And it's one of the things I keep trying to get my brain to go, say everyone, hello, everyone. And it is really weird that when you get into panic mode, which we both do, don't we, Zec, before we come on? We panic.
A little bit.
Nervous, full of nerves and terror at these 6 people watching us. but you do, your brain goes, don't say that thing. Oh, and then you say that thing. And I've always done that. I've always said the one thing that was in my brain not to say. Avril has said hello. Hello, Avril. Welcome, people. Now, outrage. Disability. Outrage.
Did you see that? Did you see it?
Now, because some things have quite a lot of outrageous things have happened recently. We find, and so we're going to cover the
result. We didn't know what to talk about.
Yes, we were a bit stumped. We haven't got a guest, and then we went, oh heck, there's lots of people jumping up and down about stuff. Let's talk about that and whether we want to jump up and down about it ourselves. So what do we talk about first? Well, firstly, I'd like to talk about how outraged I am at how bad the NHS is getting. As anyone that follows me on Twitter will know, and all of my social media, I'm not very well. I've got a bit of a problem.
Just the one.
Just the one, yeah. And things have not been going well.
It's going to happen. I mean, we are both a year older since we were last online. So,
yes,
it's downhill.
We've come on and off air quite a few times due to ill health, but this time it's quite bad. And I'm off to hospital tomorrow because I had an urgent emergency appointment booked for the 1st of August that was then cancelled and moved to the end of September. And in that time, things are getting worse and worse. So I'm going to go in and demand that people poke and prod me to find out what exactly is happening and whether or not it can be fixed. And I think that we don't hide our political alliances, do we, on this show? I feel we can say.
I sit on the fence.
Yes. And I don't know about you, but I mean, I know that I've been in the NHS, the arms of the NHS since I was born. Being born with cancer, it's always been caring for me. And I can honestly say that whenever a Labour government was in, it was quite good. And whenever a Tory government was in, it just got worse and worse and worse.
And they blame the Labour.
No. And while there were some mistakes under New Labour, I won't deny, hospitals got better. I got treated more regularly and more quickly. And what's one of the things? You've not had as long a experience as me, but do you think that's it?
Alas, yes. As a child, A&E was my home. My mother used to say, "Now what?" Honestly, it's no surprise I'm disabled. Because the shit I used to get up to, if it wasn't nails through my feet or my head cut open or falling out a tree. And it used to be that safety net. And when I became unwell, it was that, it doesn't matter what happens. Boom, there's the safety net. I'm going to be all right. And it's not there.
No, it's, you're ill, proper ill. And then you ring them and it's like, oh, well, I had an issue with my specialist who decided he didn't want to see me anymore, which was nice of him. So then I had to go and find another doctor. And that took months and months. All the while, this is getting worse and worse to the point where it's got so that it's really impacting my life. I've got a new job. I can't do it as well as I'd like to because I'm just not able to do it. And I've never, but it's more than that. It's things like, many years ago, I went and did a thing about assisted suicide where I went to Belgium and met a wonderful Paralympian called Marika, who has sadly actually gone through with her assisted suicide. And we were discussing her condition, and basically it's my condition. And I was saying, have they done this to you? And she was like, no, they don't do that here. And I was like, oh heck. And basically, because you've got this, this alternative, people don't tend to give you the same treatment. And I was like, oh, I'm so lucky I'm with the NHS. And now they're going to me, well, there's not much we can do. And I'm like, well, I know there's stuff you can do because you've done it to me before. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's expensive. But now you're saying, oh, it's too expensive. You're 57. You're quite old. And I'm like, I'm not old. But that's what's happened as well. This idea that
it's not just us that those are real. They used to talk about the golden hour. If someone had fallen ill, they've got the golden hour to get into hospital for the most chances to live.
Yep.
People are laying on the floor for 6 to 8 hours waiting for an ambulance now.
I was that old guy, wasn't there? That old guy that fell over and his family built a tent over him because he'd fallen over outside in 15 hours. 15 hours. So that's well outside the golden hour, I'd say. So I think that's
under the Tories, it's the golden day.
Yes, it's
the good old golden days.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's for the ambulance. That's not even being seen at A&E, is it? No. So you get to A&E and then you get triage. Because
I try not to think about it. It scares the crap out of me that if someone
they do that clever thing. They get you in and they see you almost immediately, but you're not actually being seen. You go, so what's up? And you go, oh, well, I've got all this stuff going on. Oh, okay, right, sit down and someone will call you. And that means you've been seen within an hour.
Yep.
But you haven't, because you can wait there another 5 hours before someone calls you in to actually find out what's wrong. So it's scary. Oh, yeah, and I'm also in so much pain I can't sit up properly. So anyway, I'll fidget. If I fidget,
and I'm going to say a non-disability outrage is all this sewage being pumped into the sea. Ooh, now we're not under EU laws. Come on, my kids and my wife and my daughters were swimming down the seafront a couple of weeks ago in the sunshine. Now it's don't go there. Don't go in there.
I couldn't believe. I mean, I think the latest one where it's just absolutely raw sewage being not pumped into the sea, out at sea, but on the beach.
On the mud. The tide's out.
Just that'll do. Pumpy. And it's like, again, privatisation. Why is the NHS collapsing? Because it's been almost totally privatised. Yeah. Why is water rubbish? Because it's been privatised. Oh, nationalisation is rubbish. Well, without being funny, I'm old enough to remember when things were nationalised.
British Railway.
Yes, and everyone goes, oh, British Rail. Which brings me, oh, God, this is like I'm a professional, man. You did this. Well done. We are thinking in sync now. Because I was on a train recently coming home from Wallasey, from Liverpool. And on the train, I'd put my chair in the wheelchair space and I'd get out my chair because I couldn't spend 2.5 hours. If only it was 2.5 hours. And we pull up into Crewe and all of a sudden the train just fills with billions of people. And apparently 2 other trains had been cancelled and they'd all gone on this one train. And so some people just decided to move my wheelchair without saying, whose chair is this? And just move it into the hallway, blocking the access to the toilet. And meaning also that I am now unable to see my wheelchair, which has also got my wallet, my door keys, and loads of other stuff in it.
When someone takes your wheelchair away.
It happens a lot in theatres where they go, oh, you can't, I sit in the chair and they go, you can't. And I'm like, no, they're my legs. You can just tough. Oh, it's a fire hazard. I really don't care. And many a time that's
you see it a lot on the television. We've discussed this before. Disabled person sits down. There's no wheelchair, but we know they're a wheelchair user because you can't have that sat there. Good Lord, no.
I mean, it's funny though on telly because I've done that on telly myself. I've got out and sat, and I do tend to say, "Can you just leave it near me?" Actually, the floor manager tends to like that as well, though, because it means they get a brownie point for having a disabled person on. If they move the chair, how do you know? You have to mention it. And with me, we have Mick Scarlett. Now, Mick, you're disabled. Yes, I am. Thank you for mentioning that. No need to. But there you go. Cute. Whereas I just sit talking and there's a wheelchair next to me, unless they go, well, what is that then? Is it a new prop? I'm so drunk.
Yeah. And talking about outrage, and you mentioned the theatre, there has been another outrage with Mr. Russell Brand, who I saw a video of, who saw one of these lightweight mobility scooters.
Someone got out like I do.
Left it there, and he's, can I have a go? And he's buggered off up the back of the theatre, and he's come back, and he's got out, and he's gone, thank you for the gift of freedom.
Now, you see, it's funny because all of my friends throughout my entire life have gone, oh, let's have a go. My brother, when I first went in it, was doing wheelies in it after about a day, and it took me about 3 years to learn how to do them.
I can't.
However, my current wheelchair is set up to be really tippy, and my best mate came around and went, "Oh, let's have a go." Sat in it and immediately fell back and nearly knocked himself out.
But that's me. Yeah,
it is weird, isn't it? How people kind of they'll look at you. Oh, you poor little thing, and then oh, it's terrible, isn't it? And then you have, oh, can I have a go? Wee, you did great. And you're like,
and they probably wanted to say no because what they've done. You want to go? It's like I said, I'm going to the theatre. I'm disabled. I feel conscious anyway using this, and I'm going to sit here and go, disabled person. Let me have a go of your device. And you're like,
yes, yeah,
shit.
I want to know, do people that wear stomas have the same thing?
Excuse me, madam, is this your bag?
Yes, can I have a go? No, that's a bit bad taste. But there you go, there's a bit of outrage for you.
Oh,
it's funny because Avril here has said that last week at Bloodstock, there was a motorised wheelchair user at the front of the stage. Yeah, now you see...
What's that? Human sacrifice live?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, for the headline. Now you see, Avril, that's good. You see, but I've been at the front of a few stages in my wheelchair, and what happens if you're not careful is you just get gradually pushed under the stage. I remember once seeing a band, and the stage was about there, and I was like, I'm going. And luckily, the band saw me as I was being garroted and lifted me onto the stage.
I said, can we ever go?
Yeah. But and funny enough, I do remember as well, there used to be a band who had a robot band member that was in a wheelchair, and I went to see him, and it was a kind of political statement. So we went with water pistols filled with various disgusting things and sprayed the robot till it blew up because they hadn't booked a band with a wheelchair user in it. They'd booked a band with a robot wheelchair user, but all non-disabled band members. So we didn't like that.
And as if it was planned, as if talking about bands has segued into Paralysed.
Yes, you see, tonight we have reached a level of professionalism almost is unsurpassed. Because
if Mik had his pants on, we'd be so professional.
We would. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am, because I'm in so much pain. Putting trousers on is just too much. I've got a shirt on and then underpants, and that's a lot. So conjure that up, if you will, and then be
I should save that one for later.
Yeah, because you're right, Enya. We've got music has had a bit of a weird one recently. Because the funniest one is before we talk about lyrics, what about Noel Gallagher piling up at some festival and going, I've got an access all area pass. I'm coming in the disabled area, and then taking it over and people puking up, and then when he got challenged,
all his mates,
all his mates, and then when it got challenged on it, having a go and going, oh well, it's all right for them, isn't it?
Which is good for you. Good view you got there.
Yeah, and I mean, let's face it, it's Noel Gallagher. Everyone goes on about how great they are. To me, it was just like, Sex Pistols doing the Beatles. It wasn't exactly original. I'm sure there was a covers band somewhere that does Beatles songs in the style of the Sex Pistols, but we now know them as Oasis. But so, but that was just, what a sense of entitlement. Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh, all right, you get a better view. Yeah. Although, how many times has that happened?
I'm Noel Gallagher. Make way.
Yeah. I mean, I've had loads of people do that, though, to me at gigs, just pile up. I mean, it's weird as well, because you're not allowed to bring your own mates in, but people think they can come in and just hang about with you because you get a good view.
And that's another thing people have been upset about. They're saying, right, okay, I'm disabled. You can come. Here's the disability area. At most, you'll get one seat with you. But what if you've got two family members? Why is there not more for people to sit together as families with a disabled member?
Yeah, it's something I've questioned for decade. I mean, I nearly got arrested at an In Excess concert in 1990 at Wembley Arena, where we went mob-handed, and they wouldn't. It was just me and one other person was allowed into the special enclosure, and
special.
We weren't able to leave to go and talk to our mates or leave the thing. Oh no, you have to stay for your own good. For your own good? For your own good, son. For your own good. And I think the security guard, when I started having a go, he said, "There's always one, Sonny, and you're it." And apparently I swore so loudly that my brother could hear me in the audience over the band and came pole vaulting up to see what was going on to stop me having a
I
rap.
feel so inferior. Everyone's mentioning all these gigs. The only one I've ever been to is I took a girl who was she was literally just a friend. She wanted to go see Five Star at the Cliss Pavilion, and I took her there and sat at the back while she was at the front screaming. That is the only gig Zechariah Richardson has been to.
Wow, there you go. That'll have to. Although, admittedly, it was actually going to see the Human League in Southend that actually really put what was wrong with me much up the stock, because the field was dire. So it's that. So that was a disabled enclosure to.
That was a field. That wasn't a.
That was a field. It was a field. It wasn't a disabled. It wasn't a special viewing platform. There was a bit by the stage in the field with a toilet, and that was it.
And it's a rough old field.
And nowhere to sit, and it was awful. Katie says that in Birmingham Hippodrome, we have disabled people in wheelchairs who have wheelchair space in the front row. And then we have people that can transfer into the seats. We put the wheelchairs in part near the entrances to the auditorium. So, yes. See, I wouldn't let that wouldn't happen to me. If it's not going out of my sight unless I know where it is. If I can't see it, it's not moving. It's got to be, and that's why I was so offended on the train. One, they didn't ask. Excuse me, whose chair is this? And two, I couldn't see it.
It was in a wheelchair space.
Yeah, exactly. It was in the and then it was filled with people and luggage, and I'm just like, oh, okay, fine. But there we go. Dear. So. We've moved from Noel Gallagher. I don't get why he did that, other than they were probably drunk and high and thought, drunk and high on life. I mean, not life, anything else. And thought, why not? I've not been up there before. Yes, so lyrics.
No, there's been outrage about lyrics. The latest
words
one
in
is
pictures, words in books, words. Sorry.
Words. Words.
So there we go. And that, of course, has been used on at least 2 titles of articles I've written about language and disability. But yeah, so words. Well, we have, of course. Which one do we start with? Should we start with?
Well, let's go back in time.
Let's go. Yes, let's go to the one we agree on. I mean, the sort of we got action on, shall we? Lizzo and Beyonce. Lizzo and Beyonce both apparently rapped or sung with the word spaz in their song titles.
They did.
And after much furore, they have taken them out.
They have.
But there was a big fight, wasn't there, from people saying, well, yeah, but we don't mean it to be insulting. It's just the way, it's a word we use. Okay, cool.
This is the problem, isn't it? Words are used and they're not necessarily meant from the original meaning. It's they're just taken on by general public and used.
I think the thing is with spaz is it was meant the way it used to be used. Like, oh no,
it was an insult.
But we don't use it the way you use it. And it was like, no, you do. I mean, apart from the thing you spaz was something that said, but also,
in the 70s, that was the school ground jibe, wasn't it?
It was.
Spaz used to get called. Yeah,
all the while. And I used to get very upset because
or what was it?
I don't have cerebral palsy. I had cancer.
or the poor guy on Blue Peter.
Joey Deacon.
Yes. They say, "Oh, you're a Joey."
Yeah, Joey was the other one, wasn't it? Now,
kids.
But the thing is, the meaning in kind of, because there was a lot of discussion around the fact that it was a word used by Black Americans, and it meant something different in that sort of, in their Creole. Because this is one of the things about language, is it kind of modifies, it molds, we pick up words. The English are terrible at it. We have words from all over the place. What was it that George W. Bush said? That's the problem with the French. They've got no word for entrepreneur. So English is the worst. We suck in words, and the thing is, but spaz in its American, in the use in the Black American society community, still means what we used to mean, which is losing control, being uncontrollable, being out of control, and so it's a reference to the way that spasticity affects your body. That's, spaz dancing in the 90s, spazzing out, I'm going to go spaz on you. All of these were terms that were used when I was young to mean I'm going to, I'm going to lose control. So it wasn't an alteration of the word. It was just a continuation of the word. And it just so happened that some communities hadn't caught up. And
tip your hat that they actually did. Public pressure that they're like, re-record, off we go.
Yes,
you probably still get the explicit version online.
Yeah, oh yeah, God. I mean, you'd probably be all clubs all over the country, all over the world, going, "Oh yeah, we've got the real one." You know, it's like,
come on, everybody, spaz out.
That's it. and in a way, yeah. But in a way, it would be nice if we didn't have to worry about words. But the problem is, we are so oppressed that it still does cut. And, I always think it would be really nice if there was a lot more disabled musicians. Do you know what I mean? I know it sounds silly, but there are still so few that, there's quite a few kind of bubbling under, but there's no real high profile disabled musicians.
Physically disabled, I think there was quite a few that had ADHD back in the day, I would say.
Oh yeah, no, I mean the thing is that there were I mean, I used to know, apart from Gary Newman, my childhood hero, and as Sophie, I think it's Sophie, yes, it's Sophie, Sophie Weaver saying, and of course the band I supported when I was a rock star wannabe back in the olden days, before and during when I was a TV presenter. Did I mention that? Anyway, he, of course, now knows he's got Asperger's, and so he's autistic, and he talks about how much it really benefits him because of his focus, and he loves technology and all that kind of stuff. And when I met him, going on tour with him, it was very much like, wow, there is something very different about this guy. He's not, social situations just scared the hell out of him. I mean, he's better now, I think, because he's married and much more settled. Wasn't that when I knew him, but I think that,
and you can see it in so many of them, can't you? Going back in the day, where they're sort of like,
But if you think Ian Jury,
and
then you go, and then there's a guy from the Mystery Jets. And then, I think
Zig Sputnik, they were all something on them.
I happen to be good friends with members of Zig Sputnik. I used to go
the worst mimers ever on Top of the Pops.
They were excellent. They are. All my friends got into them, and I was like, I don't know. And then I heard them and went, I really like them. And all my friends went, they're really shit. So I used to hang around with Martin and Ray and the boys. So yeah, but I mean, there are lots of. I mean, I know lots of pop stars that actually are disabled, but that don't admit it because they don't want it to ruin their image. Which is, and that's why occasionally they come out and go, I've got a mental health problem or something when their record sales are dropping, so they'll get a bit of articles in the press, but no visibly disabled musicians.
You can't imagine a 14-year-old girl having a wheelchair using as musician on their wall as a poster, because that's the way 14-year-old girls are, the way 14-year-old boys are.
You say that, but that was the thing that was said to me when I wanted to be a pop star, and I would go home and sign posters to 14-year-old girls because I was on TV. And the thing is, I think that it's a myth. I think people don't care. I think if people think you're cool, they think you're cool. And for every 14-year-old girl that wants a picture of a K-pop band, there's another that wants a picture of Marilyn Manson or someone like that.
Oh, well, I tell you what, one of those K-pop guys, they're certainly in a wheelchair now. Did you see that telly drop on him?
No, I didn't.
High above on the stage, it fell, huge monitor, and it literally got him down the middle. He's laid on the floor with this thing right up the middle of him, legs and arms either side. It was like, and apparently he survived. You watch it, and it's like, oh, God.
Wow. See, but this is the thing: it is true. It could happen to anyone, and that's why this stuff matters. Because if you allow a society to use terms about being disabled as an insult, or in an insulting way, or in a way that
to normalise it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's not to normalise it. It's to, because like spazzing out is it means something bad. doesn't it? I'm losing control. I mean, I think the lyrics was in one of them was about I'm going to batter you, you bitch. I'm going to spaz on you or something. And it's I mean, and that to me, I think is a problem. I think that, but and yeah, what Avril said about retard. Another, I mean, that's a horrible word. But it's a word that was officially used in medicine.
And in mechanics, on your timing, you would advance or retard your timing.
Yeah. And that's it, because that's where it comes from.
It's backwards.
But when you more than that, what it means is you've got normal, like you said. So you've got someone that's like, say, for me, I had retarded ability to walk as a child. Yeah. I didn't learn to walk till I was 5 properly.
You slow it down, don't you?
So basically, when I would go and see a doctor, say, "Oh yes, his walking is retarded," and so what they used to mean was, your intelligence, your reading age, whatever is retarded, or you were advanced, as you said. So you'd get, I remember at school there were kids that went into the top class quicker because they could read better, and I really didn't know. I didn't learn to read until I cracked a way of working out what was going on, because my dyslexia meant all the words moved. So I had retarded reading age, and then suddenly I was advanced because I cracked it.
This is interesting. Have a look at this one. Katie, is there a way of using those words in a way so it's not bullying?
It is true. I mean, one, I think, and I think who said it earlier? Sophie Weaver again, about cripple. Now, cripple is a word. When I was young, that was just used like handicapped and invalid and all the others that we have dropped from our use. But that we've reclaimed. I remember in the 80s and 90s that suddenly it was crip this, crip that. We were crips. And it was almost a bit weird because I was expecting kind of someone else to go, yeah, and we're the Bloods. And
we're the Bloods, the Crips,
a massive war. But and it was that idea of trying to reclaim language. And I think that's what Katie means. Is like, is there a way of? I mean, I had a T-shirt that I painted up that said, and I wore this on telly a lot, that said "Spaz God," because it's our word. It's our word. It was only one Z, not two, but it's our word. To me, I think if we use them, I think it's, But I think, again, like Kate said, I think but the thing is that they are used so horribly. No one, like, if you're saying I'm going to retard the timing on my car.
No, you're not having a go at your timing, are you?
Yeah, but if you go
on the school playground, oh, you spaz. That is meant to offend.
I mean, no one uses retarded or retard in language now, I think, other than very technical engineers, and mean it in a way that isn't picking on someone. That isn't.
I can remember them saying for a kid at school, their learning is retarded, not meaning they're retarded is what they're saying, but they're behind. They are backward in their reading.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
It's about using better language.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the thing. So I don't know if there is a way of using some words in a way that isn't insulting.
I think, like you said, if it's by the community, then you can get.
Do you know what? That's because I do a lot of this. I teach a lot of this, don't I? So I'm kind of like in rooms. In fact, I'm booking some stuff. I don't know how I'm going to do these lessons I've booked. I have to do it in bed, I think. But anyway, I booked some lessons soon that I'm going to be running.
All those 14-year-old girls with posters will be happy.
Yeah. I'm actually running some lessons for school kids soon, actually. It's really nice to teach school kids about the social model and what words.
That's where it has to come from. That's it.
So I think the thing is that, I mean, I've changed a lot of the teaching that I do. Sorry, there was a massive pain spasm there, so that's why I went a bit weird.
Don't say spasmic. Stop it.
Yeah, pain spasm. Spasm. That'll be the next one. I'm going to spasm. Spasm. I teach.
You've been watching DHTV.
Yes, it's all gone a bit weird now. But I teach. I've changed what I teach quite a few times on the advice of the communities that I work with, like people with autism. No, it's autistic people. It changes. What's this? Most people get that we are reclaiming words. I started worrying about this when doing stand-up comedy and saying I'm a crip in a chair. They used to explain that that's okay because the word is about me. Yeah, exactly. It's funny. I did a bit of stand-up and I purposely did not do anything about
I'm a stand-up comedian.
Stand-up comedian. No. I did not mention it. But I think
He's a stand-up guy, that Mick.
Stand up, sit down, and all that kind of stuff. Oh dear,
Yeah.
and my legs went from under me. But and I think language changes, and that I think is important, and I think we need to accept that. It would be lovely if the community, if the wider society understood that. Katie, of course, has highly pointed out that yes, Mick used to have a great big red jacket with the word "freak" on it. I did. I used to be in a band called Freak UK. Not necessarily about being disabled, although I really did like the idea that it was playing with people's minds, saying, hey, we're freaks, but also because that was a word that was used a lot in the alternative scene to describe ourselves. We were all freaks. And so it was sort of saying that it was targeting us directly at that alternative scene.
There was a song, wasn't there? Freak Like You, was it?
That's it, yep.
It was.
Yeah, Freak Like You. There was Freak Scene in the 90s, and then Freak Like You was the one by the Sugar Babes with Gary Newman's Our Friends Electric as a backing track. Yes.
Oh, Gary Newman, he knew. But now we come on to something that we don't quite agree with, and that was the Paralysed lyrics, which I closed.
Yes, because I can't find this. Some new young band that does poppy rave music that I do not know the name of because I can't find it. Apparently is about saying to their fans, should we release a single from ages ago called Paralysed? And everyone's like, oh, it's terrible. Don't, you ableists. And it's like, oh, you think you'd learn from Lizzo and Beyonce. And it's like, what? Paralysed. And yes, Korn. Avril said Korn, Freak on a Leash. And it's yeah, I'm a little confused by this one.
It's not so bad. It doesn't read as badly, does it? But they're using the word paralysed, but it's not an offensive word. It's not like, like spaz or something. It's not, I don't know. People haven't jumped as much on board in having a go. And people have gone, oh, I know why that is, because they're not black.
And I don't think it's, I think the thing is that spaz is an insult and paralysed is actually, it's not, if someone said, my muscles have become spastic because of you or something, it would be, it's medicalizing it. I can't really explain, but the paralysed, and the song isn't it, is, oh my God, she's so beautiful. Whenever I see her, I'm paralysed with her beauty. She's, I'm struck. I can't speak. I can't move. I don't know what to do. It's sort of, it's kind of that. And without being funny, I tried to search for it, and instead I found multiple other bands that have released songs called Paralysed.
I just realised why I couldn't find it. I looked at it on the phone, didn't I? So
you've got Susio. You've got Delta Goodrem, from Neighbours fame. A band called NF, who sound a bit like they're in the same vein as Linkin Park, apparently. Mystery Skulls, for just a few, but one, and Union J, apparently. Oh, very nice. Paralysed. So it's something, and I bet all of them are about that. Oh, she came into the room.
Well, this is when did I become so numb? When did I lose myself? All the words that leave my tongue feel like they came from someone else. And then the chorus, all together now. I'm paralysed. Where are my feelings? I no longer feel things. I know I should. I'm paralysed. Where is the real me? I'm lost and it kills me inside. I am paralysed with a Z, not a...
With a Z, because it's down the kids.
Cool.
That's right. Now, I don't know about you.
We were discussing this. You could be paralysed with fear. You could be paralysed with joy. You could be paralysed with a taser. It's not. Not that I've had that one,
but I've, in my youth, at school, at Puttridge High School in Luton, in Stopsley, Luton. There was a girl at my school who I was paralysed by. Paralysed. Totally, it was Maria Can. And every time I saw her, I would completely.
She's married now. It's Maria Can't.
And I would completely use my ability to talk, or just she'd go, hello, Mike, and I'd be like, so kind of in a way, I get what this song is about. So perhaps that's it. Perhaps I don't find it so offensive because I've been there. And maybe, I don't know, but we've got to be careful, because if we start picking on everyone that uses any term. I mean, this is one. What do you think of the term tone deaf?
No, personally, I don't think that's offensive. I mean, Morrissey. I mean, there he is. Is it Morrissey? No, it's not Morrissey.
I don't know.
Who was the guy?
I mean, Morrissey started off being quite good, but ended up being complete fascist.
No, who's the guy that sung "I'm Beautiful Now"? And he was like, really, what was his? Oh, heaven knows I'm beautiful now. He sung, and he was definitely tone deaf.
That is. No. Morrissey wasn't deaf. That's interesting. That Morrissey used to wear a hearing aid,
right? It was Morrissey, yes.
But he wasn't deaf. He wore it as a homage to another singer from the past who he idolised, and I can't for the life of me remember his name. So that was a bit weird, where everyone was like, "Oh, Morrissey's deaf." No,
but yet the way he sung, you may have had doubts as to whether or not, because let's say, it wasn't good, was it? Although a lot of people liked him.
Yeah, I remember when he came out. See, I remember I was a synth band, and then all of a sudden everyone went into that, and I was like, oh, guitar rubbish. Now I think it's quite good. But I used to do a drum and bass.
My wife is tone deaf, definitely.
But one, I don't necessarily, like when people go, "Oh, well, you're tone deaf to the problem, or you're blind to this problem." I can see what people from that community. Again, I think it's up to the community. If the deaf community go, "No, don't use that. We need to find another way of describing it." But I don't know. Is paralysed offensive? What do you think, viewers? Do you think that writing a song about being paralysed by the beauty of someone, or
the problem is as
offensive?
as human beings, we will all take different offence to different things, and at different times, depending how we're feeling. If we're running low and we're really struggling, something could come in and hit us that may not normally hit us.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. Language is such a complex thing, isn't it? And it's so easy to get it wrong.
Yes.
Especially as an old boy, I'm very aware that I can get language very wrong.
Do you know what? It's funny because I think that is very much it. I think that when you're in the right place.
No. It was above.
Oh
no, that's my grandson. He's got selective hearing because when I say, "Do you want a sweet?" he hears me from 5 streets away.
You want you to come in a minute?
Yeah.
Sweet. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice. I think if we could agree on this stuff, but I think that I think the key is that let the people decide. I think If enough people from a community don't like a word, then I think it should fall from use. And I think that's really the way that we should go forward with everything. And I think that we as disabled people tend to get ignored a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like, have you muted yourself? Have you decided that I talk so much, there's no point having actually any sound at all anyway?
Oh, I'm back.
Hey, he's back. But I think that... that's the answer. Now what we've got here, some people
shouldn't say unmute Mike because that's Mik. It's really offensive.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because it is mute yourself.
Mute.
But
you're
interesting.
Mute. There's so many words. It can get so complex. But is the right way to deal with these things to have a Twitter pylon for public outrage, or is it better to? Well, I think, or will they only listen to massives of voices?
The thing is, though, is the Lizzo and Beyonce one worked because it was effective and because we explained it clearly, I think. And I think the paralysed one, I've seen people saying, "Oh, it's only, it's not as been so vociferous because this band was white." Yeah. But I think it was more because the word itself is far less sort of focused.
Yeah.
I
didn't say, I'm a spaz. I am paralysed.
It paralyses is something. You can be paralysed. Like you said, by fear, you can be. It's something. So it's not the same. Now, if you were going, if it became an insult, then I think that's it. And I think the thing is that it was basically just a lack of understanding around what spaz was as a term. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. I think what it is that there's terms like the N word,
yes,
right? There's no way of using that's not an insult. And I think that then people were going, well, it's not like that because it means something, without understanding that the meaning itself was actually also insulting. So that's
they've
why I think
reclaimed
that
the
works.
word, doesn't? That is a community that has reclaimed the word. They use it. It's not an insult.
Again, within that community, some people say yes, reclaim it, and other people hate it because it's still continuing to make the word used. And also, it means that people who like the music where they use that word
will sing it,
will say it and sing it, and they won't necessarily be from that culture. So actually, it's meaning that people.
You've only got to have a young kid; they will sing any lyrics. They will not know the impact of what they're saying.
Well, and I suppose with the last 5 minutes, we're going to bring on to the last subject. And this one I think is really tricky because we've seen in Disability Horizons, Disability Horizons, the magazine, an article. I can't find it because Disability Horizons search engine on your magazine is useless. So could you do something about that, please? Because otherwise I could have credited the writer and actually referred to it today, but I can't find it. I've spent ages trying to find it. Can't find it. But Adam Pearson is starring in a film. What's it called, Zec? You did find it earlier.
Oh, good look! Just
He's lost it.
It's called Paralysed. No, that's
no, it's not. It's called Spaz Paralysed Cryptastic Handicap Elephant.
It's called How to Grow Angel's Wings Plants. No, it's not. It's the koshery delicatessen. No, it's not. I'm searching through my Google. No, I'm back on.
You've obviously closed it, so it doesn't matter anyway. So anyway, he's in a film.
Adam's in a film.
Adam joined us the other week, and we understood that it was something about having a different kind of face, as Adam does. Adam has a condition that means he has a facial deformity. We understand that, and so I was under the impression that he was the star of the film because he was playing or at least he was playing the person with the facial difference. But it now appears that no, there is a lead character, an American actor who I've never heard of, who's playing. And they always say this. They go, "Oh, we've got a star," and you go, "Who is it?" And they go, "Thingamajiggadada," and you go, "I've never heard of this actor. How can they be a star?" Right?
I think you'll find if you look on IMDb, Thingamajiggadada was actually in a Vietnam film.
But anyway, so you've got this non-disabled guy who's having all makeup done to appear to have the same condition as a different man. Thank you, Avril. Avril spotted it exactly the same time. You were right. So, and so there's been a bit of an an outrage at the fact that this non-disabled guy is being made up to look disabled. And Adam, of course, is advising on it, and Adam has said, "I don't see anything wrong with it." But this is one of those weird two schools thought, because one, people say it's acting. And then there are people that say, well, shouldn't it have gone to a disabled actor? I tend to fall on the should have gone to a disabled actor school, especially when you have one. Oh no, called Adam that's working on the film anyway. Why couldn't his best mate have been not disabled and you just cast the star as that? But anyway.
Because disabled people only have disabled friends.
Yeah, bit parts. Kind of bit parts. But I think, and that's a tricky one. And I don't know what I feel about it. All I do know is I was offered a part in a film a long time ago called Greenwich Meantime. Which was about a photographer that broke his neck and went on to, have a great life and everything. But I was to play a character who jumped off of the roof of a hospital, committed suicide, who was the fun guy in the ward. And apparently this was just a defense mechanism to hide the fact he was depressed. And it was based on a true story. But and I said I didn't want to do it because I thought the script was
I'm scared of heights.
And also because people can't jump off hospital roofs because there's no lift to the roof. But anyway, so they then got someone in to play that character who wasn't disabled. So now all the disabled people who had speaking parts were played by non-disabled people. And I got booked by mistake to do some extras work. Not a good idea. Anyway, so it kind of ended up with quite a tricky situation where I wouldn't leave set and I wouldn't stop shouting, so they couldn't film for an afternoon. Because I was so offended.
You can't take Mick Scarlett anywhere.
I wonder why I've got no career. Why do I have no career? Why do I have no career? Because I've done this to loads of TV directors as well. But because to me, I'd rather not have a career and say that I have principles. Yes, principles don't pay the bills, but
no.
But you're still going to get dropped at some point in the industry because that's what they're like.
This is the big thing, isn't it? That the old topic of should non-disabled people play disabled people? Well, maybe if part of the film they are not disabled and they've got to be running around, maybe not. But if it's just a disabled person from the get-go,
no, it shouldn't. And this is what I mean, that this condition, doesn't. And I think that it would, to me, it just makes perfect sense. You've found Adam, he can act, so why not give Adam the lead and then do something else? And Avril just said Adam was part of the Changing Faces campaign about I'm not your villain. Yeah, the thing is, right, Adam does loads of good work. I know him; he's a good mate. He's a brilliant actor and he's a good bloke, right? But it's that kind of thing of you don't always have to agree with the professional jobs that people do if they're your mate. And I do think that with that, I think that it is going to start a discussion, and people are already saying, well, why are you all moaning? Adam thinks it's all right. And it's like, but I go and find the article. If you can find the article, dear viewers, please do. And if you do, email it to or send it to me on Twitter, because I can't find it for love nor money. But it was a really clever, insightful argument all the way down, just sort of looking into this. And, it's a real tricky one. And I think I've been outraged myself seeing lots of disabled people played by non-disabled people.
Well, Sarah Jane says, people don't black up anymore, do they? No. You're not allowed to do that, or white up, vice versa.
It's funny because I do a lot of work with the trans community, and I say they're the only other community that still regularly get played by not them. You regularly see someone like, oh, I'm a trans man. No, you're just a bloke. You're just a male actor. Oh, I'm a trans woman. No, you're a female. You haven't. There's enough trans actors out there you could find to get the truth. And when I do talks about it, what I say is this. So when I'm talking about disability, I say, when I'm acting, I'm not thinking about being disabled because I am it, which means I can give 100% of my brain to acting.
Yeah.
But when you're not disabled, you've got to give some of your brain over to acting disabled, which means you're not acting as well. Yeah. So if nothing else, you're getting crap acting.
You can tell someone that's used a wheelchair for a long while because they're so natural in the chair, the way they use it. And, somebody on crutches, the way they use crutches, it's different. I get what you say. It's.
I think the thing is as well, is that we also have gone on the journey. So we can, I actually teach this to actors, that when you're playing disabled parts, use your own life experience and use your understanding of the models of disability to find your character. So if you're new to it, you're going to be really crap in your chair, say, or bad on your crutches. You're going to think you're broken. You're going to want to be cured. That's replacing yourself. These are all things going on in your head. But if you're long-term, then you're probably going to be happier. Do you know what I mean? Or at least it's got, so it gives you a depth.
Mik would never get a part as an extra on EastEnders because you'd hear in the background during the scene, there's no fucking drop curb up here. How am I meant to get up the fucking curb?
And see, I've always thought I'd make a great drug dealer in EastEnders. Oh. I think that'd be great. Oi, nah, you do as you're told or you're for it. And there you go. That was my audition for the EastEnders. Oh,
so you're an 80s failed pop star who's turned to selling drugs with the.
That's right.
I don't know. I don't know if I could see you as a drug dealer, Mik. I don't think you've got.
Am I too cuddly? But that's the point. That's the point, now, isn't it? You got. It's the ones. See, that was scary. That was proper scary, that mate.
I'm not scary. I'm cuddly.
Well, there you go. I don't know if that was outrageous tonight. It was quite good. I think we've covered some great topics. You've been a wonderful audience, joining in super duperly in everything. Katie Fraser's got an audition coming up in your village. I hope you get it. That would be great.
Martin Kemp made EE.
I don't know. All I know.
What, the mobile phone brand?
I do like. One of the things about going to Southend was that Martin Kemp did some. Is it Martin? Yeah, it was Martin Kemp that did the DJ's set, and it was really funny. It was an awful set, but he was having a right laugh. It was like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone enjoying their life. This is my best life. I'm getting paid for this shit. And he was quite funny.
EastEnders. Yeah, he was.
EastEnders. I see. Yes, he did. Yeah, but you know, I'll be all right. You know, take over from David Proud. He was there. No one came back. You know, time for a new wheelie. I'll be all right.
Not sure I could be behind the bar. I don't look wide enough, but I think I could have a go at something. Market trader.
Yeah, you know, I just like the idea. I like being a villain. All that stuff. I don't want. Because I want to be a Bond villain. It'd be great.
No.
So, Mr. Bond. So, hang on.
You've got to have a facial deformity.
So, Mr. Bond.
What the fuck is that, Nick?
These are from the animated series in the 90s, Little Monsters, and this is Oblina, and this is Crumb, and this is my wife, and this is me.
Right. I think I remember the Raggy Dolls from the 90s. My kids watching.
That was the 80s. Raggy Dolls. We're going really weird now because we've over time and we're just backwards. And that was great as well because that was meant to be an analogy for disability, an analogy for difference.
Bob Hoskins, wasn't it? Bob Hoskins.
I love the Raggy Dolls. They were great. And of course, we can never forget Charlton and the Wheelies.
Charlton and the Wheelies.
Wonderful. But there you go. So, diddly-dee. Oh, yes, no. Well, actually, saying about Martin Kemp. Yeah, Martin Kemp had brain cancer, didn't he? So everything he's been left with afterwards is because of that. And I think that's, you know, the thing is it does happen to people. And I think that's when, one of the things is that when actors become disabled, then it's like, oh yeah, we're going to cast you now. Now we've got someone they could act before, so it's all right. And it's like, you know, some of us can act, and we were disabled already. I might not be one of them though. No, never really known for my acting skills, even though I've now gone and learnt to do it. When I first started, I was the only.
I did drama at college. I wanted to go into acting, and then girls, and yeah, I kind of got distracted from everything in life.
Right, with that, I am going to go because my pain is starting to really piss me off. So I'm going to say, there you go. That was outrage.
You're smiling. You can't be in pain.
I do this too much. My wife tells me off. I go to see doctors and I'm like this. And they go, well, it can't be that bad. And I'm like, oh, God, I'm going to faint. And she's like, just tell them how much it hurts. But I'm so used to hiding it that I can't actually admit to it. So I'm going to go and lay down now and cry because it hurts so much. And with that, folks and folksesses and everyone else, you lovely people, whatever you are, wherever you are, and whenever you are, whether you're watching this live or on catch-up, that's it.
20 years time.
And hopefully, that's it. Hopefully, you weren't too outraged by anything we said. And with that, I think Oblina is going to wave goodbye.
That does look like a dildo with a face. Goodbye. I'm sorry, Nick. Goodbye, everyone.
These eyes glow in the dark as well. It's great. Right, that's it. We've got to stop there, I'm afraid. And with that, see you soon, folks. See you soon. Bye.